Welcome everybody. We're going to be doing more of our Posthomerica stuff. And this is a fun one because we are going to design the cover, the book cover. There's a few things that I would like to address here, so let's do this. We're going to take all these. I have a bunch of pictures that I think could work in various capacities on the cover. But first, let's just deal with the cover itself. So what design and what information do we want to be... Oh, that's not good. Information do we want to be on the cover? So let's just grab the same black that we've been using. There's a bit of info that we want. Doesn't really matter where we put stuff right now, it just matters what the info is. Posthomerica, the Fall of Troy, obviously. We want to put the author's name, Smyrnaeus Quintus, in there. We'll center it. And I'll say something like, with illustrations and annotations by me. We're already getting a lot of information on here, so we'll probably have to figure out how to make this a little bit less word heavy. In the audiobook, an interesting thing is we want to put like a little badge or something that says like, not a badge, but something that says like free PDF with illustrations. You know, because like that's not really typical with an audiobook. I guess this is all we really need to communicate on the front cover. Welcome, Azure Tundra, to the show. Moving to a different art style. Yep. I hope you like it. This is my new drawing. Okay, the one thing I forgot to put in is pretty darn important, which is So that's a lot of information. Let's look at some books. The Iliad. I'm just going to look at some book covers for this. Interesting. So we could do something where we do this. It's not really, like in this story, Quintus is not really like as famous of an author as like Homer or something like, wow, they do have a flip. At the end of this whole process, we find this out. There is a flip button. I've been doing like a manual dragging it and trying to match the size this whole time. I didn't realize there was a flip button. Well, that's something. Anyway, I don't know if we need to really like credit Quintus like in this way, like a famous author, but we'll leave it for now. And we can do something like this, where we kind of put the two of our names off to each side. That definitely limits the amount of like space that's being taken up, but it does make it pretty small. Ultimately, you know, on the Kindle store or whatever, you're checking the title of the book for info about that, or the description, not necessarily the cover. The cover just has to have a cool picture. It was interesting, I was reading that Iliad and Odyssey were written 500 years past the event. Yeah, well, the Odyssey is like mythology, and so is the Iliad. They're both. The Odyssey is like a, you know, story of monsters and stuff. So that's not really like an event. And Odysseus is not necessarily like a real person. The Iliad is also debatably mythology as well. It's about the Trojan War, but not a lot of information is really even known about whether or not the Trojan War was fought in the way that people think it was. And plus the Iliad also has monsters and stuff. But yeah, it was written way after when the event was supposed to have taken place. And it's interesting because, yeah, it's like antiquity for them, and puts it sufficiently far enough away for them that it's kind of like the golden age of heroes that they're telling stories about. I don't know when what year it was supposed to have been compared to, they were written around 800 BC, so I'm not really sure if it was like 1300 that BC was when they were supposed to happen or what, but whatever it is, it didn't necessarily happen in the first place. So let's see if we can do something like this, where we do like a little window that has the artwork on the inside. That's kind of a nice thing, but we're wasting a lot of space. Here's the thing, I don't know how much space I'm even going to be able to use with this stuff. We have roughly a square. So let's see what we would fit in with this square. This one I think is a no. This one would fit very well into a square. This one could be cool too. Warlike story the way we want it to. So let's go back here. Maybe look at some more book covers. This one I'm going to say is probably a no. And so is this one. So let's put these in their own folder here. It's nice that I guess it's a smart object, the way that they're integrated on here. See, this is really hard to fit into a picture. Into our square here. Something like that. It's just too small. Let's try something else. I don't think IS's one is going to work. See, this we could do at a pretty large size. So this is resizing the mask and the layer. Or is that only because I was using... No, yeah, it's doing that. Okay. That's kind of a cool cover art for the book. We could reuse these borders. We don't have the left and right ones, but use these borders for this too. kind of like this, but it doesn't have like the full picture in it. This one I thought would work, but it's actually wider than I expected. I guess we could make it a little bit larger though. It'll also be difficult to, Okay, well, let's take this. Now that's a little bit too, much, so let's go back. The picture is like, we can't have them on the outside or else compositionally it doesn't work. And of course we can also do, why is this not, what's going on here? Oh, that's why. We can also make it go full bleed. It doesn't have to be in this little square that we created. Same with Shakespeare stuff, you know, it's like, that's the way it's meant to be consumed. So that's why it's really important to me to do it in an audiobook as well. I think this works pretty well. Alright, so now, what if we do... This would just be a cool, like, gimmick to do for the, you know, box art. What if it did not have a mask? See, that now I'm wishing that I could get some of these other elements in there. Let's sort of play this out, though. Let's see what happens. If we did like this. This is not a great idea, but just so we can see what it would look like. Whoa, what happened? Why? They're saying, poor Horsey's tail missing. Yeah, sorry, Horsey. Well, now it's back, I guess. I guess I would do this going all the way down. What is going on with this? Why won't it let me stretch this? It's like too stretched. It can't figure it out or something. Okay, so just so this doesn't get huge, let's make a new document. And we're just going to delete all the other layers so we don't have a really big file. So let's keep this, whoa, smart object. It's good to know. Okay, so we can have it say something like that. And then maybe put the, I'll make this a little smaller than the main text. And I don't know if it's like accepted to just call him Quintus. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know. Definitely looks better if it just says Quintus. But I don't really know if that's kind of like correct to do that. So let's rasterize this just so it's not really big. And look at that, now we can flip the layers. It's so easy. If only I knew that when we were doing the rest of this stuff. Now this gives plenty of space for other stuff. Let's take a look at some of these. And basically we would have it where this would have a secondary layer that goes like this through the center, and it would be this color. No, it's too kitschy. Okay, let's scrap this idea. I don't mind this though. See, that goes too far down. It doesn't really work. So maybe we'll try the same thing where we put this maybe like that. If I wasn't squishing this, these would be roughly the same length. Let's just assume that it is. I don't love that, but it's okay. Okay, so There's some things about this that I don't like either. What about if we did... I like the idea of this picture being in it because it's showing the actual fall of Troy. But it's very small. Okay, what if we run with this for a second? What about... None of our pictures are really vertically inclined. Okay, let's continue running with this idea for now. And I guess if we were doing this, we'd probably do something like this. Oh, Christ, okay, hold on a minute. For this, we probably would put some kind of little frame on it. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, so now we should duplicate this. Man, that's so much easier. So now we want to delete 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty cool. I don't really know how it works for the audiobook one. Well, let's keep playing it out. Okay, so if we... because it would be cool to put some, like, words in the picture. But I don't want it to be too cluttered. Like if it said, like, Posthomerica right there. As you're saying, you watched Death on the Nile, a beautiful movie. Kenneth Branagh made an amazing vision of the story. Yeah, I like the Death on the Nile adaptation he did. I liked the other one too. It's kind of just like a really slick comfort food movie. Let's see. So yeah, if we why won't this let me grab the corner? There we go. Maybe if we did... Probably want this to be the other color. Because you could also do like post No, that doesn't work. It's such a long name. Iliad, Odyssey are shorter. It's easier to catch the attention. Maybe if this was... It'd be cool if this was in like a designed thing, so let's shelve this idea for a second. And if this was like maybe it has some kind of can't draw like that. This would have to be a lot smaller. That's starting to get pretty cool. Did I put this all on the same layer? No, okay, good. We would assume that this would have the same texture that the thing on the bottom has. Yeah, I like that. We would also match the sizing of these, but we'll figure that out. So let's make a little like title safe thing right now. Not really necessary, but whatever. Was there saying you don't have to have your actual name on this amazing project? I don't have to? Yeah, I'm using the voice of nickname on it, so I'm not having it, actually. Yeah, I use that name for all my narrating, so I figure it makes the most sense to keep it consistent. Plus, we've been doing it on stream. Okay, so let's maybe duplicate this and put them at 100% and then make them black. Then merge it. I feel like this should be smaller than the actual picture. Maybe like that. This is starting to look pretty cool. Okay. I guess we'll make some title safe things for the top and bottom. I'd want to keep a larger area clear here, and then here. I guess we'll just duplicate it. That works well enough. Maybe I should have like a border going around the picture. Now if I do this, is this gonna be the same color? No. But if I do this, or wait, this, or what did I do? Why does that happen? Okay, there we go. There's just a glitch. Nope, not a glitch. Alright, well, close enough. That's kind of cool. I like having a border in there. We're really just roughing this in here. But I think that's cool. I really like having a border like that. As they're saying, the black figures against black is cool for a book cover. Yeah, I'm starting to really like the way that this looks. I guarantee it. Let's save it, speaking of. Okay, now we can do a similar thing to this on the bottom. Center this. Oh, it's not going to be centered anyway. Okay. Is there saying you don't want to have your name on the project? Yeah, again, I figured it, you know, I already do the narrations as the voice of Nick, so it sort of makes sense to keep it all under the same banner. Maybe we'll flip this. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Maybe there's like a vertical separation or something. This thing where it's like two things side by side, it doesn't really work for me. I don't know what I would do to fix that. Well, I guess it could be two entirely separate squares. It wouldn't need to be that big of a separation. Okay, let's just say illustrated. I guess I got rid of my text layer. Okay, what if it said this? That's kind of cool. Now we're getting somewhere, but I want to do more like the text on there, so we're going to change that. But I like the idea of not really focusing on putting like a million things of all equal importance. Something like that. And then it would say like on the bottom, something like, yeah, this is better. So this would need to be even smaller than it is. Honestly, I don't know the viability of having this text be so small, but let's run with it for a second. Or what if we did like whoa, what the heck? That's weird. Now we're getting somewhere, ladies and gents. Yeah, I see what you're saying, though, Azir, with the name thing. Just to go off of that, it was one of my first things I was wondering about, was like, how am I gonna, how do I want to sort of like list my name in here? Because it's like more scholarly, obviously, to use your own name. But when I was writing the introduction, I actually, I actually focus on the fact that I'm a Twitch streamer, because one of the sort of benefits of this book, or like the sort of special materials of the book, it's like illustrated, it's annotated because I wrote my own intro and I have extra things like illustrator's notes and all this stuff. But it's also the only book that I've ever heard of that has a making of, because all these streams, we have over 200 episodes of like the making of the book. So I figure that it kind of works in that regard, because it's like in the introduction now, I have the thing that says like, if you want to learn more about the process of making this book, like you can go to this link. And so that becomes kind of like part of the book itself, is like all these episodes. And in that context, I think it really does make more sense to have it as like a voice of Nick operation. So yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, if we had some kind of separation like this, I don't know that I like this specifically, but something. And now we can get this text in the bottom part. This is starting to look like a pretty cool book cover. We went through a lot of revisions here, but I think we ended up with something pretty good. Does it say translation by Arthur S. Way? This would say illustrations and annotations by the voice of Nick. I think we got it, ladies and gents. Good. Yeah, because when you look at it from far away, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it's got like nice big artwork on it. I wish I could get like a simpler piece of artwork. Like, I didn't really do any stuff that works like as a portrait. But the nice thing about this is that when we make it an audio book, it's going to be like this. It has to be a square for an audiobook, so I think that we could sort of jam the title in up on top there, and we could probably, I think we can fit a lot of this stuff in audiobook-wise as well. Because, the audiobook it's a square when you make the cover for those. Good. So we're not going to do the final artwork now for the cover, because we still have to revise the actual art of this picture. to match some of the other aesthetics that we came up with. But I'm very happy with this layout. So now, if I was going to do anything else, I would just take this. Let's put all these in a box. Take these. This. This is just nothing. We'll put it in here, I guess. I'll kind of center this stuff. Azure saying very cool. Thanks, Azure. Yeah, I think we got it. It's looking good. So we'll expand on that. We'll make an audiobook general layout as well, and then we'll start finalizing. There's like 3 pictures we have to finalize the post-production on. One of them is this. Post-processing. One of them is this, and a couple of the other earlier ones we want to go back and add some extra details to. And then we'll make the real covers. And that's pretty exciting, because then when the real book covers are done, then I can start finalizing the Kindle book. And you have to put out the Kindle book, I think, first into the store, or like into the submission process, and then the audiobook. I think I can simul-release them, but the Kindle book is the first stage, because you have to then link the audiobook to the Kindle book. So we're on our way, ladies and gents. Thanks, Azure, for hanging out during the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. If you guys want to see more about the book that we're working on, you saw the title here. I'll show it again, I guess. Posthomerica, The Fall of Troy, Illustrated Edition. That's what I'm making here. So we've been doing the illustrations live on stream. We've been doing creating an audiobook as well, so that we've been making live on stream too. If you want to see more, details about like where to find the book and everything, keep an eye on the front page of my Twitch channel. It's not available yet, so there's nowhere to link to, but I'll be posting links to that, when it's out. And guys, I'll see you next time. Azure saying, really amazing to watch you work, and so quick. Thanks, Azure. Yeah, I try to keep an open mind about it, and just keep screwing around until something works. This time it worked out. Doesn't always work out, but it worked out this time. Thanks for joining, and bye-bye. Have a great night.